What's up, YouTube? TenTon here, and we're here today to discuss the next time on Death Battle, and oh boy, it's a biggie. If you guys didn't know this, my #1 requested episode for the show is Crash vs. Spyro. We're getting Crash vs. Spyro! I'm excited. I've never been more excited. In my history watching the show, there are 3 episodes that I needed my favorite characters to win. The first one was, if we scroll wherever it is, where are you? It was Kirby Boo. Kirby was my favorite thing as a child. It was my favorite things to do. I loved his games. I loved the TV show. I loved Kirby. I played him in Smash, even though I was terrible, but I still loved him. He murdered Majin Buu. That was the best. That was like the best day. That was like best Christmas gift I could ever ask. I don't even know how to describe that episode. It was so much fun. It's my favorite episode to date. I love this episode to death. Close second would be Gar vs. Toph, which was scary because it was like, okay, finally, Kirby won. I can chill. I don't have to be so scared to watch the next episode. Never mind. Never mind. You care so much. Toph was my favorite Avatar character as a kid, and I wanted her to win bad. And she did, so, that just worked out well. That was a stressful episode, too. 2 episodes, just so much stress back to back. And of course, then we had to wait a long time. Like, I care about a lot of these episodes, especially like Donkey Kong, Wolverine, like Mega Man. For this one especially, I wanted Red to die, and I got my wish. Thank you, Death Battle. But of course, the next one that meant the most to me was Flash Quicksilver. I love the Flash. He's my favorite superhero of all time. He's awesome. He's fast. He's got that witty remark. He's funny, but he's still down to earth, and he's so likable. He's my favorite superhero of all time. So seeing him, and the episode came out on my birthday too, which that was, if Flash lost, I didn't think he could lose. Honestly, it's Quicksilver. I had very little faith that Quicksilver could do anything to the Flash, and luckily, my boy Flash won. But it was still stressful. Even when I know a character has a 0% chance to win, I'm still scared because it's a death battle, and they'll find something. They have a tendency just to find one little thing. It's like, haha, your favorite character dies, Daniel. You don't get to be happy. Oops, said my real name. Oh, whatever. Anyway, now for Crash vs. Spyro, I played all the Spyro games. Except for maybe a few of the Game Boy Advance I just never had as a kid. But I played all of them. Crash, he was never my childhood, and I could honestly care less about Crash. So naturally, this is the most biased. I am so beyond biased when it comes to, I want Spyro to win. If he doesn't win, I'll generally be upset. I won't complain, and I'll still love the show, but I'll be very, very, very sad if Spyro dies. That'll hurt me a lot. So naturally, when I saw the next time, I was scared. And I found some interesting information on Ben's Twitter that really helped me predict the episode of what I think is going to happen. When you look at what Ben's been saying on Twitter, the most interesting note I found with this. Let's see. Written by they're getting a new guy to write an episode. Cool. We see who Spyro will be voiced by, and Crash will be voiced by utter gibberish. Interesting. Why is this interesting, you might ask? Because Aku Aku is not mentioned at all. So that leads me to believe that Spyro and Crash will be on their own. And if they do, this might change the fight completely. And I'm completely fine with that. Spyro doesn't need Sparks. Spyro's proven in the Legendary Trilogy he doesn't need Sparks to fight, which is good, in my opinion. I'm 100% fine with Sparks not being around, because Spyro doesn't need him to fight. That's fine. So if Aku Aku's not here, that's the really interesting part. Spyro is much safer if Aku Aku's not around. Aku Aku can help Crash do the Titan jacking thing he does, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not that intelligent when it comes to Crash games. I do not know. I know Crash's general thing. He's kind of strong. He punches stuff. He spin attacks, all that. He jumps over stuff. He's generally more of a kind of evade, kind of then a punch when you can kind of fighter, like Little Mac is, and punch out. I know he's immune to mind control for some reason. I know he does that mind over mutant or something. So I know Crash has abilities, and I know he has more games than Spyro does. But I know Crash as a fighter, I believe he gets a gun, shoots fruit, which, my boy Crash bringing fruit to a firefight, that'll be hilarious to see. Especially since later down they confirm, let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, Torian's doing the animation, and it's gonna be 3D. I am beyond ready for this. I am beyond ready for this. Seeing that Spyro model makes me so excited. I cannot wait to see what they do with this. But now, who do I think will win? It's close, in my opinion. It could be pretty close. Crash is physically stronger. As I mentioned before, he does have some variety of moves, nothing much. If Aku Aku's not here, no, I don't think the Titans will be included, as there are a lot. I think that would be like, that's outside help. He would need Titans to jack. And I don't think that'll be counted. Of course, the immunity to mind control thing's essentially worthless, that Spyro doesn't have any mind control powers. And if Aku Aku and Sparks aren't here, I feel Crash is doomed. I feel he's gonna die easily, especially if they count Legend of Spyro, and even more if they count Skylanders, along with the original trilogy. Because Spyro at this point, he can fight with his horns, claws, tails, wings, and like whatever. He can shoot fire. He can shoot lightning. He can shoot water if you count Hero's Tail, which is canon. So I guess they will. He can shoot. He can do the Earth powers. He can shoot ice. He can shoot bubbles, which is completely useless. And he has the wing shield thing he can do. And if you count the Legacy trilogy, he can like upgrade his breaths, where he can like explosive fire bombs, like more condensed lightning, like spiky ice, like earth bombs, like, and he has like the ultimates he can do, where he just like shoots an enormous wave of fire. Basically does a sheer cold from Pokemon, like electrocutes the entire arena, drops earth bombs from the sky, and there's like the fifth element thing he does against Cinder in the Legacy trilogy. If they give him Legacy, Spyro's gonna murder this Bandicoot. And I want him to murder this Bandicoot, of course. And if you count Skylanders, Skylanders gives him like a few new tricks, like some different variations of his fire breath, and of course there's also Dark Spyro if we want to go there. If Spyro gets angry and filled with hatred, he'll transform into Dark Spyro form, which gives him a massive boost in physical power. As we've seen, like he does in the final boss of Eternal Night, Spyro, you do not mess with Spyro when he's Dark Spyro. That thing will murder you. And if he uses it, his power increases dramatically, though he loses a lot of self-control, which will be the main issue if he uses it. And of course, if we want feats, I don't know that much about Crash, but Spyro did, reconstruct the entire planet as it was breaking apart in the ending of the Legacy trilogy. And in the Legacy trilogy, Spyro can just straight up fly, not glide. He can just straight up fly. And if you count Skylanders, he can do the same. I feel Spyro has a lot more working for him in his favor. And if we count like enemies, Crash, I know he's beaten like a few like different bad guys, like about 4 or so. That's from what I've heard, like 4 big bads. Like Neocortex is the main one. Like Uka Uka, some stuff like that. I don't really know that much about Crash, so please tell me in the comments, like some stuff Crash does. I want to know. But Spyro has beaten Nasty Nork twice. He's beaten Ripto like 3 or 4 times at this point. I've lost track. He's beaten the Sorceress. He's beat the Sorcerer. He's beat Red the Dragon twice, which I didn't know this. Red actually gets redeemed later on in the series, which is actually interesting. He's beaten. He beat an evil version of Cinder, who is essentially his equal. Cinder is pretty powerful in her own right, but not really until the 3rd game where she gets all of her elemental powers. It's where she's about equal with him. But regardless, he beat Malfor, and of course, if you count the Skylanders game, he's beaten Chaos and all of Chaos's villains. And if you count Hero's Tail, he beat like an evil mermaid at one point and a giant woolly mammoth. Wait, no, he was Hunter beat the mammoth. Never mind, I'm stupid. Regardless, Spyro, I feel, just has more going for him overall. And honestly, what's Crash going to do if Spyro sets him on fire, soaks him, fries his body with electricity, freezes him, crushes the ice with his earth powers, flies in the air and just drops firebombs on him all day? It's just, unless Crash has some stupidly high physical advantage, which I don't think he does. But Spyro's dealt with mechanical monsters before, like Ripto summons like a mechanical bird he rides, and the Sorcerer uses a UFO. So it's not like Spyro hasn't dealt with like high-tech mechanics before. So I don't think that'll be a difference. Like Spyro's dealt with magic and robots, so I don't feel it'll be that big of a change. Like they have similar. Spyro and Crash actually have a lot of similar enemies they fight. Like so, it's not that. So anything Crash has done, Spyro also has probably seen coming. Like he's fought. Spyro's driven tanks and like warplanes before too, so that also helps him. Lastly, is intelligence. Crash has the same mental capacity as a dead yak. Spyro is far more intelligent. He can be a bit cocky and overbearing at times, which could be problematic, but at least Spyro can think. Crash can barely function, unless you count Skylander's Crash, who has an Australian accent and talks, which was weird. Though I did really love seeing them both in the same place. Regardless of anything Crash I've seen at Crash, I don't think he can hurt Spyro. I just don't think he can. I don't think there's anything Crash can do at this episode that we can really get a win out of it. And now, if they don't use Legends, which I'll generally be angry if they don't, because Legends is my favorite version of Spyro. If they want to just use the originals, I guess it's okay. I'll still be angry, and I still won't be happy, but I'll still probably love the episode. Though everything's forgiven if Spyro wins. Though if they don't use Legends and Spyro loses, I'll generally be upset and will probably not like this episode that much. But regardless, I don't even know how to end this. This episode means so much to me. Like, Ben, mad props to you, man. I really love your work, and I would really love to ever be able to make episodes of this show. Like, that's my dream. And this episode will be a defining factor of the series for me, most definitely. Well, guys, what do you guys think? Who do you think will win? I personally have full faith Spyro can win this if given the opportunity. I don't really see anything Crash can do. And that's kind of sad. I do like Crash. I'm actually going to be buying the Insane Trilogy soon, once it comes to the Switch in June. But, sorry Crash, this is Spyro. I value Spyro's life 1,000 more times than I value yours. Anyway guys, this is TenTon. Talk to you later. Peace.